Yep, one of them days. Technology is wonderful, and we are here. Uh, James is back again for number 13, lucky number 13 tonight.
Yeah, yeah, I almost wasn't. I had a tooth try to kill me, and
Mm.
so in the middle of the week. But I'm glad to be back again.
Yeah, I know you had to cancel some and wasn't really be able to do much with Trouble Minds. It's been a rough week for you for sure. Yeah, I don't know what happened to you two, but all right, whatever. I guess since I closed it, stopped it because it just showed it. I don't know. Oh well. And we got my mom here to tell stories, family ghost stories, and whatever she wants to talk about. We should be fun. Are you glad to be
Yeah,
here, Mom?
Yeah, I guess so.
it's nice to meet you. By the way, I didn't get to say that earlier, but
N-
it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I guess Uncle Dave's lurking. He just pops on alert.
I'm a lurking.
What's up, Uncle Dave?
Not much, Ricky. How are you? Hello, James.
Hello.
Good, good. This is Lauren and Aaron's uncle, Mom.
Oh, okay. I love them.
Me too.
So so why? Yeah, it's one
It's a
of them
pleasure to
days.
meet you, Mary Jane.
But
So
Tuck says she wants to say hello. I think if I can get her.
oh
There
okay,
she
there we
is.
go.
Here's Miss Tuxina. All right, George, gorgeous George is over in the window.
Yeah, Mom has like 100 cats or so.
Not yet.
Not yet. That keyword.
Yeah, keep
Keyword.
working on it. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
can,
you want some ghost stories or you just want some weird stuff?
Either or, Mom. Yeah, I know some ghost stories or something like that. Something that just us wanted you to come on and see. Uh, just different paranormal. Anything kind of do with paranormal? That'd be because we had the paranormal expert of the new known universe here to help
Oh, we
figure this
did.
stuff out. Yeah, figure
so
this
they
stuff
say.
out. So,
Wow.
so
My little story might not be enough
Oh no,
because
everything is enough.
my story's about a ghost dog.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I was about 12 years old, and our crazy neighbor, she poisoned our dog. Um, I showed her though. So did my mom. But anyway, the dog had been dead about 6 months, and we had some goofy people over, and some of them were, a little bit drunk, and somebody dropped a cigarette down in the couch, and so when they did, we went on to bed. We didn't know it was down in there, and in the middle of the night, the dog started barking and just barking, 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 and having a fit, and ran in there and was pawing at the covers, and Daddy was, get out of here, dog. I'm trying to sleep. No, he was barking, barking, wanting him to get up. And so he got up, and the house was full of smoke. So he told my
Mm,
mom to get me up, and told me and get me and my granny up, and they get them out, get us out of the house. And so I grabbed the cat, and we were all running towards the door. And Daddy said, "Well, I got it fixed. It's turned up, it's out." And so he was talking, and he said, "I don't know what happened." He said, "But that crazy dog, he woke me up." And I said, we just stood there staring at him. We said, "We don't have a dog, Daddy." And he looked at us like, "What?" We said, "We just don't have a dog now. Remember, Herc died. Hercules died." And he said, "Oh, well, he
yeah.
came back. He came back and he woke us up. And he's a good boy." And I said, "Yes, he is. Yes, sir." And so Daddy was the one that saw the dog. I didn't see that dog. I've seen other things. when when Daddy was dying in the hospital, he had quadruple bypass, and then a month later he had aortic aneurysm, and they didn't give him nothing. They didn't give him no chances. And so we were there talking to the nurses in the hall outside his room after he had surgery, and they said, he's pretty critical. And I turned around and looked in there at him. I was about to go in, and I saw my grandma. My grandma was sitting there with him, and she was she was holding his hand, and it was like she was reading her Bible. My grandma was Pentecost, okay, but she was reading her Bible. It looked like reading a book, and in her lap, and holding his hand. And I shook my mom's arm. I said, "Look, look, 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 look in there." And she said, "Oh my God, she came." And we knew, but she had been dead at that point 10 years.
Wow.
So we saw her, and I swear to it, it was just strange. But during Daddy's aortic aneurysm, the doctor came out afterwards, and he said, you know, this is going to sound crazy to y'all, but I felt something in that operating room, and I could see my hands doing that surgery, but I'm telling you right now, it wasn't me doing that surgery. So it was like I
Huh.
was standing back watching it being done. And, they expected him to die. That my daddy was tough, because my daddy got over that and the quadruple bypass from the month before. And a year later, he went back to work working on 18 wheelers. He would put them back together after a wreck. Now that's a tough guy.
That's
Ricky can
amazing.
tell.
Hmm.
Ricky can tell you about that.
Like when
But
he
yeah,
his boot broke
his
his toe
boot.
and his broke
Oh
his
yeah,
toe in the
when he
boot.
dropped the 2-ton that jack on his toe,
Oh
and he,
no.
he smashed his toe to pieces. I mean, it was all smashed in the boot, and he had me pull his boot off. When I did, he said, "You think you can sew that up for me?" I said, "There ain't nothing to sew up. It's just a mess." But he wrapped it up and went on back to work again the next day.
Wow. No, I'd be like, well, I'm done. That was a good career. I'm all set. See y'all later.
Yeah, but yeah, we've had several things happen where you start to get in the car to go, I had to go pick up Ricky and his brother, and so I started getting the car, and I'd have to go up the interstate, and so I looked out, and this little gray cat, and I looked down, and I said, "Smokey, how can that be you?" "George, go away." I said, "How can that be you?" And he just stayed out there crying and crying and crying. I said, "All right, I'll get you some food. They can wait." I went and got the food, came back out. There was no cat. And then it struck me that Smokey had died. He had been hit by a car not long before. So that wasn't Smokey that came to eat, or it was, but he was keeping me from the highway. Well, when I got on the highway, a tractor trailer rig had hit a bridge abutment, and it exploded into flames, and the bridge was on fire. I mean, that's how bad it
Wow.
was. And so I figured that kitty cat was a little angel sent to keep me from getting on that road, because I would have been right in the middle of it, truly, because there was no police, no firemen, or anything. I got on the road after it happened. So that was kind of creepy. What
Yeah.
else, Ricky?
Well,
You want me to tell them about seeing Granny die?
you can, Mom. Whatever you wanna let loose.
Well, this isn't really a ghost story or anything creepy like that. Of course, that is kind of creepy, but this one is really. I was 14 years old, and I went to sleep uh night before, and I was sitting. I went to sleep one Friday night, and I woke up sitting in the bed, sitting straight up. I saw a thing uh, coming in the window where my grandmother was sleeping, and I, I was horrified. I was scared, and I watched him stab her in the chest, and I watched blood pour out of her head. Now that's scary as all get out right there for a 14-year-old kid. But then when you get up in the morning and your grandmother's over there and she's about to feed the cat, and she had a massive heart attack. She dropped dead, but as she went down, her glasses broke and cut her head, and she was bleeding like crazy from her head. Now, I still have those from time to time, but it's it's not something I really talk about a lot because people think I'm nuts. But I still see things like that happening with
Yeah,
various people.
it's not fun to have premonitions of things because there's once if you tell anyone that, a lot of people they're just gonna think you made it up, or some people that might think it's real and then think that you're not right somehow or evil somehow, or and I don't think that's the case. Any of those things are the case. Because you are not the only person to have those kinds of experiences. Any of what you've talked about here so far. There, I've come across many similar ones over the years, so it's not just you at all.
Yeah, but it's not something you want to brag about because, like you said, it's not with me. It's always somebody is about to die.
Right,
The latest one was my best friend's husband. He'd been sick for a long time, and before she let me know he died, I already knew he had died, um, because I saw it and I was wide awake. I mean, I've had that before where I have just zoned out and just, yeah, I see things, and that's not anything special. My grandmother, um, she saw things too. She knew. She told me a week before she died that I needed a dress because I was going to a funeral. I guess she didn't tell me it was hers, you know.
right.
But that's the way it is. But see things like this around, like at Shiloh, when you can go through Shiloh and you can feel the atmosphere. Now it was really hot there in Shiloh when we went, and but there's there's something there. It's just it's not evil. It's just really sad. There's a sad sense around that place, and you can hear voices and like muted muted gunfire or something. I don't know how to say it. Ricky knows. He was with me. We
I was gonna
both.
say, I was like, the day of the Jeep. I said, well, I was gonna get you to, put your perspective. I told everybody on that, but yeah, that cannon fire is what I took it as.
Yeah,
Like it was a faint cannon fire. That second thing we heard, and
yeah. And it wasn't them
first was that
firing off the
music.
cannon.
Yeah,
They weren't firing off the cannon at that time. They only fired off at a certain time. So that faint cannon sound and those voices, we were nowhere near the tourists, uh, where they were sitting there waiting on the cannon to be fired. We were nowhere near them. We were out there by our lonesome, and it was freaky.
yeah. I told him how you turned and looked at me and he's like, you heard that, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ricky's dad just looks at us like, okay. I still don't
Yeah.
believe
I,
you.
I didn't even look back at Donnie and my dad. I was wondering what they were thinking. We were as we went back and forth, and well, we didn't say a whole lot, but we were like, you just did you hear that? I'm like, yeah, and it was
Hmm.
just that one of them moments.
Yeah, walking where they had the mass graves. That was cold there.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy, crazy place.
Yeah, I got a bunch of footage and put together that video and stuff. It's in the it's on the channel somewhere.
Wow.
So I got a bunch of footage, and then after y'all left, I don't know if you ever watched it or not, but after y'all left, I actually walked through the big graveyard
Uh-huh.
and was talking to the camera or whatever as I walked through the big graveyard and stuff. So
Yeah. The Indian mounds there also, those are very special places. So you don't really want to disturb them. I'm glad they left them alone
yeah,
because you know how that is. It's
Oh yeah, a lot of those have been taken down and destroyed by progress, whatever that is.
progress quotation marks. Yeah, which like I said before, like it's there's a lot of there is a lot of energy there with that Tennessee River, and that river flowing right there beside it, and
Hey
just that
George.
power. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. It's wild to see it and everything. Yeah, mom was determined to get on top of that mound.
Mm-hmm.
Had She got all the way across there. I had to go drive across the thing to pick her back up. But people were looking at
Well,
me like I lost my mind, but I was like, y'all have to deal with me if y'all mess with me. Y'all want to
well,
argue?
it was because I was needing my knee replaced. So it's replaced now, so maybe I can go do stuff now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bionic woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Go see that Renaissance fair you're talking about.
I'm gonna go this May. I'm gonna go to the Renaissance Fair in Middle Tennessee. It's at a castle, and I just want to
Oh,
go and see it.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Go,
Yeah.
mom.
I've been to Scottish festivals in Middle Tennessee, in Murfreesboro, but yeah, Murfreesboro. And I'd like to go to this Renaissance Fair. Not dress up. I don't have any thing to wear, but I can go like a people, so that's okay.
So long as you show up, that's it. Just go out and have fun.
As long as
Yeah. We'll just,
I have money to pay for it. There we go.
yeah. It'd be all right.
It's not that far. It's a day trip,
Yeah.
so my legs should hold out for that. George, what are you doing? Leave the lamp alone. Gorgeous George is back over here.
I
Our
got Miss.
$500 kitty cat.
Mm, I got Miss Kitty finally calming down and laying beside me here where she's not in the way.
Good.
She kept on trying to lay on top of my keyboard.
Of
Oh,
course, it's something you don't want her to lay on, so she's gonna want to lay on it.
Yep. I picked her
yeah.
up like 3 times and set her back on the floor, and she come back, and I tried to use the mouse. Man, what's going on with the mouse? And I realized she had leaned just enough to hit the control key or something, and I like get out of here. It's on the laptop, whatever. Which I'm just do that with the chat, but still.
Yeah. It's crazy. They'll get in your face. They just get in your face. Whether you're cooking or on the computer, especially on the computer, George is laying on it now
Yeah,
because I'm not using it.
I don't know if you ever noticed this or had any experience with this, any of you, but I have a cat, and she there's been a couple times where I swear she teleported from one in front of me to when I turned around. Literally just turned around, she was standing in front of me again. No movement, no sound. Didn't see her moving at all. And she was one place and then she was the other. Like a couple of seconds later. And just standing there both times. And I don't live in a very big apartment, so uh, yeah, it was really weird how that happened. I'm not sure. It was either teleportation or sort of a out of body experience um, that happened a couple times there. And I've been wondering about that recently because sometimes when I go in to use the bathroom and I leave, I'll realize later when I hear her in there that she got stuck in there because I closed the door because she likes to make messes in there if I leave the door open. And I found her stuck in there. So she can't if she can teleport, but she can't teleport, or does she have to be able to see where she's teleporting to? I don't know. Or can she not teleport and it was just astral projection and she really was stuck in the bathroom? I'm not sure.
I've got cats that can open a door.
Okay.
I do.
I almost wish Logan could do that, but almost then again at the same time I don't. So yeah. Eh.
You can get one of those handles that just push down. He'll learn how to push it down and get in and out all the time.
Yeah, but then she'll be able to get to where I keep her food, and that won't be good. Yeah. No, I better not do that. But that's amazing though. They are amazing creatures. I like to joke that they are actually our alien overlords, and they can just shapeshift and do whatever they want to, and you know,
Is that right? Miss
it's how
Cat.
they keep us taking care of them and feeding them
Mm-hmm.
and doing whatever they want, as much as they do.
Got food right there. Yeah, that's true. What is it, George? Okay.
There's a reason the Egyptians worshipped them. So
Yeah, well, they're very, yeah, he just said it. Uh, they're very, very talkative and they can talk to you about things. But when I was laid up with my leg, when I first came home from the hospital, I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I had one dog and five cats, but they weren't on the hurt leg. They were all over me, but they weren't on that hurt leg. So
Mm-hmm.
they just knew not to get there. Isn't that right, George? George
Yep.
is here talking to me, so I gotta acknowledge him or he gets upset.
Yeah. When I'm sick or not feeling well,
Hmm.
Logan behaves a lot better. It's like when I'm feeling fine, she's fine with causing whatever trouble. But when I'm not feeling well, she's like, okay, all right, I'll behave for now,
Yeah, that.
and doesn't do anything. And then once I'm better, then she's back to normal again too.
Well, that's like also another thing. You don't know it, but when like Ricky's father's working, and so when he goes to work, uh, they all they don't like it. The
Hmm.
dog doesn't like it, the cats don't like it. But about 30, he can call me and say, "Well, I got to stop here, here, here." They don't move. They don't move at all. But about 10, 15 minutes before he comes in that door, they gather around the front door. They
Yep.
know they can hear the I don't know if they can hear that work truck or what, but they gather around that door and they did the same thing to Ricky. And he was driving a truck. I don't think he had drove here before. So they just suddenly started gathering up there on the back of the chair and right there by the door. And as he come in, and I said, "There he is. You were right. Somebody was coming." So he knew. They knew that Ricky was on his way. Before I knew he was on his way, he surprised me that day.
Yeah. There's So I've told this before a couple of times on here, but just because, just in case for anyone that hasn't heard, I there's been a couple of times where I feel like Logan protected me while I was sleeping from some other entity or entities, because I had dreams about her and others. The first time I had a dream about her, uh, and I could see her in my living room. She was sitting on my couch bed I had out at the time, and it was her and something that looked just like her, but I could sense that they were staring each other down. And I woke up, and Logan was sitting there right in the bed next to me, looking at me like, "Everything okay?" And so that was the first time. That was like right after I got her when she was still a kitten. She was still tiny. But a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, I fell asleep one day and I had a dream about Logan chasing something around the apartment and like trying to get to it and get it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that same sense of there being Logan there and something else there. And I woke up and of course everything was fine. But so yeah, I think they have abilities, at least some do, that are not just uh, they don't just exist here in the physical world. They're aware of other places.
Well, the Egyptians believed that. They believed that cats kept demonic spirits away,
Hmm.
that they kept the evil away, that cats could be, because evil things were afraid of cats. Now, there's some evil humans in this world that hurt cats, but they better hope their cats keep me away from them.
Right.
But yeah, because I rescue. I don't
Yep.
hurt.
Yeah.
So, and getting back to evil, the evil spirits and everything, it's like the thing that came through the window that I saw. I felt it was evil. And
Mm.
then there's times when you can go, like, we have a family graveyard, and it's in Lebanon, Mississippi. And don't bother looking, it's not on a map. And Ricky knows where it is. But if you go there and it gets towards evening, I'm telling you, there's things in that graveyard
Yeah.
and around that graveyard because it starts. I don't know. It's just you can feel feel the change. You can practically smell it.
In the
We
late
went down there.
1700s, there's graves all the way back to the late 1700s in it.
Uh-huh. The first ones weren't marked, but they were written down in the church log. And there was the last church was built around 1920 because the fact that the church before it was across the road and burned. Lightning struck it, so they moved it next to the graveyard. And we've had family buried there for, well, let me look at it. Let me think about it. It's holy cow. We've had family there now 200 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, truly. I do genealogy, and there are family members buried there for the last 200 years. Some of them, their gravestones have been overcome by a tree, and the gravestone is half in the tree. Some of them were just rocks. They laid down and carved it out, but now the carving's gone, but you still see the big rocks that were on the graves. There's a lot of them out there. And that's one of the family graveyards. And the other one is down in, um, for the other side, it's in Pontotoc, Mississippi. So I haven't been down there yet, but I will. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, Graveyards to me are cemeteries are fascinating because it's not. They don't all have the same feeling. Some people get no feeling from them at all. Others, there's all kinds of activity in them, and others, there's just a positive feeling. There's nothing happens, just presence or whatever is there. So each one is different.
Well, Shiloh, like I said, was sad because a lot of those people that were killed there were dumped in mass graves. Some of them
Hmm.
they dug up and put them into their own, divided up the bodies and put them in their own graves. But when it was going on, when the fight was going on, there's hundreds of Union soldiers and Confederate soldiers down there that um, they're still finding more mass graves down there
Mm. Yeah.
where they were killed.
I guess over 25,000
Mm-hmm.
combined soldiers got killed for 3 days, 3 day battle.
It's shallow. Mm-hmm. You can tell. You can tell. It's like there's a feeling there that's just like nothing. It's like where we go down to the homecoming at the Lebanon. Uh, when it's there's certain times of the year, it looks like the ground is bleeding. It really
Mm,
does.
yeah.
Um,
I was thinking premonitions and stuff, Mom. Tell the story about Dad on the aircraft carrier that time. You got a hold of him.
when I got a hold of your dad on the aircraft carrier, yeah, it was. I kept feeling like I got to talk to him. I got to send him a message. Got to do something. Something's going on. So I'm a full believer in the power of prayer. And I hit my knees and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I sent a message over there because that's the only way you can get messages, and it's no guarantee either the Red Cross will deliver it,
Right.
uh, or the Navy Relief. And I prayed for him, and when he finally, he didn't tell me what happened. But I told him, I said, something happened, and I know something happened. I don't care. He said, well, I only got a few minutes to talk because we only get a few minutes to talk, and then the next guy gets to talk. And I said, well, you better write to me and tell me what happened. Well, he, uh, he was almost blown off the aircraft carrier by a plane that was landing. And another another he had another problem where he was just I knew he something was wrong. I knew it. He was in the ship's hospital, and he had really bad pneumonia, and when he got out he sent me a picture, and I said, my God, you're gray. He was so sickly looking, and I found out later that he almost died then.
Mm,
It was because he was on the aircraft. He was so sick. I knew it. I know when Ricky. There's times when Ricky there was something going on with him, and I knew it was going on. I kept, I'd call him or I'd try to call him, and I'd finally find out what had happened or anything later. But it was there was times when you just I don't. They say it's women's intuition. Not every woman knows that. Not every woman does that. It's just something you get. Either you have it or you don't. I guess the best way to say it. And I don't think it is just women's intuition. I think men have a strong intuition. Some men do. Ricky does. Ricky has a very strong, powerful intuition.
yeah. I also have family members that have been sensitive to things over the years. My apparently my great grandfather, my paternal grandmother's father was very sensitive, and then she was somewhat sensitive too. Then it seemed to skip a generation overall. My aunt, I think one of my aunts maybe has experiences here and there, but then my older sister and I, she's also somewhat sensitive, and I've just had a lifetime of experiences. Not every day, but like I don't know, once a week or so sometimes. And also I was born legally blind, so sometimes I wonder if there's something to do with all that and that mixture of being born with that disability, and then also just because I had experiences starting when I was a teenager, maybe earlier.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do think there's intuition and or sensitivity to things. I do think it can go to anyone, and they can run in families very easily, and there's plenty of accounts of that as well.
Oh,
Hmm.
it's true. Everyone has it. This old house we live in. My parents lived in it, and after my mom died, my dad remarried, but then he moved back when that wife died, and so he had a He was only here like 4 months before he passed away. But the thing is, even now, there's times where I'll suddenly hear something in the kitchen, and I'll think, well, that's the refrigerator opening, and then I hear it shut, and I hear footsteps, and I'm like, is there somebody in the house? Now, the first few times I grabbed a gun and went in the hall.
Right.
I felt to see if Richard was still in the bed, but I did. I would get up and look, and there was nothing there. And okay, go back to bed, go to sleep, no problem, nothing for weeks on end. And then I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd hear the kitchen, the refrigerator door. My father sleep ate, so
Okay.
he'd get up and eat at night, and he would be sound asleep. So I figured that's um, just a residual thing that's going on in the house.
Yes. Yeah. That sounds
Because I
like
know
it.
where he's not in the house.
Right.
I saw him leave. He's not in the house. But I hear that residual thing, and even now, if the smoke detector goes off, I think, oh, Daddy's burned the biscuits again, you know,
Right.
because that's what he did. He'd cook. We always knew breakfast was ready because he would burn the biscuits, and the smoke detector go off. It's time to get up. Come on.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as seeing, spirits, you can see spirits just about anywhere in the South. I mean, the South is eat up with um ghosts. Elmwood Cemetery in Memphis. That's a great place to go. They've got from there was a yellow fever epidemic here, and it wiped out the city's charter. That's how many people died. And there was these nuns that stayed, and they got yellow fever too, and they died. And 99% of the people who died in Memphis are in Elmwood Cemetery right now, who died from yellow fever. Now that was in, let's see, when was that? That was in the late 1800s. And so now they have ghost tours there and in
Mm-hmm.
Victoria Village and other places that here in Memphis that are truly haunted. We had ghost hunters come here in Tennessee. So if those guys show up looking around trying to figure out what's going on with these people, why is there so many demons? And down in Mississippi too, where Ricky lives, there's a lot.
Yeah. I really do think that there's probably always stuff going on all around the world at different times. It's just a matter of how often it's noticed and how often it's reported after the fact. It's just I can't tell you how many things I see online of this location is the most haunted place in this city or in this state or in this country,
Hmm.
and all the places that claim is made about just about every place that is said to have activity.
Oh
And
yeah,
so it's just a thing so I think it's everywhere. It's just a matter of again the details and the who's there to see it if there's anyone and who's going to report it.
yeah. There's one place I would like to go visit, not at night, but it's because there was a family member on Richard's side of the family who was there, and that's Bolivar Mental Hospital in
That's a
Bolivar,
freaky building.
Tennessee. Huh?
That's a freaky looking building too. You can tell. It's like you can drive down the road and look over that building, and you can see stuff looking at you as you drive down the
Oh,
road.
and that's during the day.
That is during the day.
Oh my God, it's the creepiest place, and I've heard people say, "Well, I've gone in there at night on a tour, but nobody stayed long enough to really see a whole bunch because it was too scary." And that's one place I'd like to go. That and I think it's the Tennessee State Penitentiary, the old one. It looks like a castle. and I think I'd like to go visit that too.
Yeah. Yep. Those both of those kind. There are certain things I've found. There's patterns, and there are certain types of locations that just seem to be perfect places for activity. And two of those again are the sort of mental health facilities,
Hmm.
asylums, whatever, prisons, hospitals, another hotels are another. So yeah, yeah. There's I still someday I want to go to visit the Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Kentucky. I want to visit that someday because I just heard so much about that place having so much activity, and not just from the paranormal reality shows either. So I
Yeah.
really want to check that place out someday.
Oh, Ricky, I think your dad wants to feed me now, so I
All right,
haven't
Mama.
eaten dinner yet. So, but
Okay.
thank you for inviting me.
No
Next
problem.
time I'll tell you some really creepy stuff if you
Okay.
ever want me back.
Yeah, yeah. Of
Of
course, come
course.
back, Mom, and yeah,
Uh,
we'll
all right,
figure out
y'all.
your headphones and your laptop and stuff.
If I don't
Me or
toss it
Donnie will
in
get
bed
yeah,
again.
me and Donnie will get over there and we'll figure it out and get them set
Okay.
up for you for next time. That way,
All
um,
right. Well, I appreciate it, and I will. And it's good to meet y'all, and y'all have a good night. Okay.
You as well.
all right, Mama.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Well, I'm trying to turn this off. Leave it.
There we go.
Theo, next time I'll get her to. I was about to ask it. So next time she comes on, we'll get her to tell a story from my childhood. She's got plenty of them to tell. I guarantee it. My bad little redheaded tail. We fought for yeah. James was part of some of it. We fought for an hour trying to figure out trying to connect her headset to her laptop, and
Yeah,
we,
technology is just, it
it
can be a
it was
pain.
yeah. We were working on it and we were trying to get it through, and it just one of them things. But we'll get her to come back on. I just get her to eat, maybe get her to eat a little sooner or something. And I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, but finally got her. She broke the ice. So like that, I think that was. And she was she was worried.
Hmm.
So well, people think I'm crazy. I'm gonna get out there. I was like, you're good, Mom. You're at the right place. You're not. Nobody's gonna think nothing. You're good. And
Oh my gosh, if she is, then I am, and I mean, so many people I know are. No, we're not. We're not crazy.
yeah, no, no. So I was like, you're good, Mom. And I was like, whatever you want to do, talk as long as you want to, whatever you want to do. So I was just trying to get her to break the ice. I knew once she gets, I mean, she told me maybe 30 minutes, and only thing stopped her was Dad bringing her food. So, uh, how old is Mama? Let's see. She's born in '59, so she'll be 6
67.
this year. 60. Let's see. 67 this year. Yeah, she's 66 right now. Yeah, she's December '59. So she's
Huh.
66 right now. That's the only way I can figure it out. I memorized the year, and I just got to do math.
Yeah, math is hard.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll come back, sweets. And I'm glad. Appreciate y'all. The chat um, was great. I'll have to make sure I let her know. Everybody was awesome with her. Awesome talking. Yeah, she got a bunch of stories, and like I said, there's a bunch of wild stuff in my. I guess, like I said, I didn't realize how deep the gifts and the wild stuff goes with the through the family. I guess to say, but
Yeah, it's always amazing when you start to uncover that stuff and how far back it goes, and it's just like, wow, okay, huh? I guess I'm not the only one then in the family. All right.
it's stuff like it's, and I think it's important to have places um, for it's open for people to talk. Because I mean, especially when you're younger, where you know, like Mom said, I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy. People
Yeah.
listening, like what she said at the very beginning. She said it on there. Like, people think I was different, but having a place where people can actually talk about this stuff and have an open dialogue is important. For and for people's sanity. Alone, it just. And it's good to get
Yeah.
these old stories. Like when I was thinking, I was like, it's important. Like, it's been in my mind. It's like being important to dialogue and not dialogue, but record some of these, old stories
Yes.
and different stuff. That way, you can go back and listen and you know, and for generations on can hear these stories.
Yes, because I was not aware of, I don't even know if these kinds of shows or this kind of forum, doing any kind of a show about these experiences even existed when I was first heard about my grandma's experiences and in her sister's house and everything. And I wish I could have not written them down because I'm not great at writing, but recorded them or something. Because man, now all I have are just fragments of them, and I know they were whole. There were whole
Mm.
stories, and this house was extremely haunted and everything, and but I didn't know at the time. I didn't realize that it was something I should record. Not that I knew how to record anything at that point anyway, but if I had thought it was important, I would have tried to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just thinking about it, and I was talking to Mom earlier when I was like, hey, you want to come on the show tonight? Like, she was all kind of hemming and hawing, but and then she was talking about my grandfather, the one that she was telling the story about had the quadruple bypass and the aneurysm surgery and stuff, and he's like, he'd be perfect for that. And I was like, I've been him and my grandma, my nanny, her mom. My nanny, hell, she could talk to anybody. Just walk up and start talking to people at a store, and then she knows their whole backstory. Just within like a few minutes, just because they'll just unload on her. Just talk. She'll start talking to them, whatever, and then 15 minutes later, she knows their whole story and knows where they're from and knows people that knows connections and the small world connections kind of thing. And stuff like that. Like, if I had the opportunity to do this and be able to, like, bring them on or something like that and let them talk, and it'd be pretty cool to, take down some of the stories and the wild stuff that, that they knew and seen. And so just thought
Yeah.
processes, like I was like, I tell Mom, because she was talking about going to the Renaissance fair. I'm like, go. She said somebody the other day. I was like, go.
Yeah.
She ain't got the money. Me and my brother will pay for it. I don't care. We'll split it. Whatever we got to do.
Yeah.
Because only so much time. That's what she wants to do. That's why we went to Shiloh that time. It's like she wanted to go. I was like, you really want to go, Mom? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, we're going. And then she was sitting there, and I'm like, fine, we're going this day. It was more like a Memorial Day weekend. I was like, we're going this day, and this is when we're going to go, and let's do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of, I guess Big Brother put my foot down. Like, look, this is what we're doing. I'm like, all right, we're doing
Right.
it. Which it turned into something, like I said, absolutely amazing. Like I said, that music I heard and the cannon fire, gunfire, that, maybe it could have been musket fire too. I imagine it'd be similar, just the way the mold. But it's just faint. But
And the
her turning to
voices.
me and the voices and it was wild. It was a wild place. I never did see any, like, there's lots of pictures and stuff where people seen, like, soldiers walking around and got pictures of it, and caught them walking. And that family burial ground we got, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. They didn't get running water there until like 95. Didn't have an
That's a little
indoor
ways.
bathroom. They didn't have an indoor bathroom until 95. It's a had an old outhouse looking over the side of a bluff, and it was scary. But
I bet.
either you're worried about two things: either that old raggedy little building gonna fall off inside that hill and go down that hill. It was a steep hill right there too. It was several hundred feet down. Or a snake was gonna come up and say hi to you
Uh huh.
and grab hold of something they didn't need to grab hold of.
Yeah. No, no one needs that.
And that's what you're always worried about. That was always what I worried about when I was in there. I was like, man, if I got to do number two, I'm just waiting. I'm holding. I ain't doing it
Yeah.
there. But yeah, it's a wild place. It's a lot of history, and yeah, I guess we'll have to go to that other one, Pontotoc. I've never been there either, so be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm weird in a graveyard. I really am. I'm a unique individual in a graveyard. I don't step on graves. I'll make sure you can kind of see where the graves were. I'll go around. I will not step on them.
Yeah.
I will not. Yeah. Like I said, I'm odd. I'm different on there. I guess. Most people you see,
No.
they just walk across the thing. It's no big deal, whatever. And yeah, no.
No, I'm the same way. A few times I've ever been to any kind of cemeteries, I stuck right to that path. That sidewalk or whatever they had, the road, or I only went, where family was going, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And that was even before doing any of what I'm doing now. That was just, I felt like that was just the way I should be, the way it should be,
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, no, you're not quite so unique in that way, there, Ricky.
Yeah, I figure it'd be it. There's others, but you know, but I know if anybody watched me, I guess like I said, I'll get off the sidewalk or whatever and go around like in between the graves, but I just make sure I'm not stepping on a grave. I go around.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was just something just have to sit there and think about it. And I make sure, just out of respect, especially a lot of them, like I said, a lot of them are family members. I got great grandma right there, and my grandparents are right beside them, and I got great uncles and aunts right there, and all the way back, and it's wild. It's to see how much history and stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to take off your family that's passed on and have them come back and be annoyed with you. I mean, that would not be fun.
No. Yeah, but I tell you what, like Mom was talking about how tough my grandfather was. That whole generation was just a different breed of individual. Like his big brother got shot 3 times in the back in Greenville, Mississippi. Somebody trying to rob him, and he got to open his door of his truck, grabbed his pistol, and start shooting back at him. And
Jeez.
they ran off because he's eccentric. He really was. He carried he didn't like banks. He carried cash with him in pecan sacks. Like he'd have one had small bills and one had like hundreds and stuff in him. He's very eccentric on that. And it's one of them. The Great Depression did a lot of amazing, crazy things to people. Like either you're very frugal with your money kind of deal, or you acquired stuff. It seemed like it was one or the other. Like you're really good with money, and you saved it, and you didn't spend it on very much, or you just bought every damn thing you could get your hands on because they were so poor that it didn't have anything. So hey, I got money now, I can buy it. It's kind of thing. And,
Right.
you've seen that, but yeah, he was tough. He actually went all the way back and went back to walking rarely. He had the walker. I think he had a wheelchair just for a second, They had a walker, then he had a cane, and he started just walking around with nothing. Like after getting shot in the back 3 times, it's 67 or something like that. I think he was, or he was late 60s at the time.
Wow.
And he them young dudes thought they gonna get one on him, and he started firing back at them. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, it was good to talk with your mom there, and I try not to interrupt too much, but I just wanted to let her know, hey, these things
No.
you've experienced, they're, don't worry, you're not alone at all.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of like I was hoping for, and I figured in my mind how this was going, it was pretty close to how it went. It was like I was going to be the quietest of the group, and let her talk, and then you put in, because that way you can kind of reaffirm her stuff, like, hey, like you said, that you're not crazy. There's other people that do that, like just like you were doing. I figured that was going to happen, and so turned out pretty good. Wish she could have stayed a little longer. I had some more. I'm sure I know there's lots of more. What she said, she had more crazy stories to tell. So, and then the chat wanted silly stories from my childhood. So we'll have to get her to tell a couple silly stories from my childhood. So,
yeah. So, funny enough, speaking of parents and experiences, I have one that my mom and her current partner have been having recently. In this house that they got. They haven't fully moved in yet. My mom still has a place she's renting and everything, but it's the place that they found that they bought now. It's needed a lot of work here and there, and ever since apparently they moved in there, whenever they needed something, they would find it in this old barn, and it would be things that they had never noticed there before, where they found them. And apparently it's happened several times up until like just recently. And it's not just random. Like at first it was a chair and a table to use outside, I guess. A couple other times it's been like pieces of lumber that they needed, and they didn't notice them in the barn before. And then all of a sudden they went in there and there was the wood they needed, for whatever they were working on. And apparently recently they needed to patch part of the roof near the fireplace, or the chimney, basically, and with some kind of tar. And as soon as they found that out, they figured that out. They happened to just be going into the barn one day, not looking for anything, not yet, because they just found out they needed this tar and this something to put it on with. They found the exact tar they needed and the exact tool to put the tar on the roof in the barn, sitting like out in the open.
oh wow.
So
Somebody's glad you're working on the house. That's what that is.
I think so too. I told her. I said right away. It sounds like someone's happy that you're there and fixing things up. I don't. This sounds it sounds amazing. It sounds like the perfect example of a positive experience that you hear about so rarely on big media, mainstream media, because everything has to be negative. And no, it does not. And this is an example of that. So yeah, I just found out about that yesterday. So
Hey, James.
yes,
That is actually like 180 degrees out of the normal story, right? A lot of people report, especially with older homes, that nothing was happening, and then when they start renovating, all of a sudden they start having paranormal experiences, especially poltergeist activity,
oh yes,
because they're just the opposite. Like, this is my home, this is how I liked it, why are you touching it? So now I'm going to make your life a living hell if I can.
yep. Get rid of tools, hide tools on you, cause actual damage to the property in some rare cases, like cause things to break. All those, yeah, those kinds of things can happen too. So I was really glad when I found out that this was not that case. Because first when my mom said, "Oh, I've got something to tell you about with this new house," I was thinking, "Uh oh," you know. Uh, but because the last thing I want is my parents have to deal with that, negative thing. Because I don't know how to fix it. All I do is chronicle these things. I can't tell anyone, do this and it'll take care of all that and you'll be all set. No. So, but no, it's a positive experience, and as long as it stays that way, I'm fine with it. So, yeah,
Yeah, I was
that's
like you, James. I didn't want to interrupt when Ricky's mom was talking, um, because I've had several premonitions, and several of them have been about aircraft crashes that have come true.
yeah.
The Lockerbie, Scotland. Do you remember that?
No,
Pan Am flight.
I never follow. I'm sorry. I'll just say real quick. I never really follow many of those kind of things, so I didn't. But I've had a couple weird sort of premonitions myself before, so I do agree they do happen. So, but sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I kept having this reoccurring dream that a plane is going to go down in a country where they speak English, but it's not America.
Right.
And the news reporter is going to be there and they're going to be interviewing people. And one of the statements, and I equated her to downtown Julie Brown at the time, MTV fame, um, that there was literally fire running in the streets because of all the jet fuel, because the plane had just taken off and it was completely full of fuel.
Oh wow.
And then when the news reports started hitting, sure enough, there was a female reporter giving her spiel, and she goes, "Yeah, and speaking with the residents here in Lockerbie, they were saying that there was fire running in the streets from the
Hmm.
fuel." And I looked at my girlfriend at the time because I had been telling her this, and she was like, "Oh, you should call somebody and tell them." And I'm like, "Well, who the hell am I going to call and tell
Yeah.
them?" And then if the plane does go down and that one was an act of terrorism, shit, they're gonna be at my door. I'm gonna have like, SWAT teams putting little red dots on my chest. I'm not doing that. And sure enough, but she was like freaking out. She was like over the top because it was just so not completely detailed, right? Because I couldn't say when it happened and all that kind of stuff, when it was going to happen. But, that statement freaked her out when that woman made that statement.
I
Yeah.
bet.
I had a night where I was sitting here at home, and I just started to get this. I can't remember if I told this before on the show or not. I started to get this feeling like, okay, something is wrong, but it's not here. Whatever is
Mm-hmm.
going on, it's something's wrong somewhere else. And it lasted for a while, and then it went away. And it turns out, like over the next couple of days, I found out I got news from like three different people, two or three different people, about things that were happening with them in their lives at that exact time that were not positive experiences that happened on that night. Uh, at least on that day, anyway. But where they would be thinking about it that night at the same time as I was getting that feeling, and it was so strong. I've never had it so strong like that before or since. I don't know if it's because it was so many people I knew having a rough time at the same time, but it doesn't make sense because I know people have rough times all the time. With all the people that just think of all the people that one person knows. Any day, there's probably a group of them that are having a rough day at the same time. So I don't know why that night it was so strong, but it was in that rare case.
Mm. Makes you wonder. I forgot. I was just thinking about it. I had a crazy experience the other night,
Oh, okay.
and it sent uh, just shivers like back of the hairs on the back of my neck stood up like it felt like every hair on my body stood up. It was just like because I was like, man, I feel like I walked out and I was outside and I was like, I feel like something watching me or something like that. I just had that energy, and I just felt that something. And I turned around. When I did, I heard a stick break. I watched the stick break like somebody stepped on it, but there was nobody standing right there. It was like they're about 35 feet from me, but I seen it stick break that weight, and then everything just like spider sense went to teetotal hell. Everything went, and I'm like, whoop, it's time to get back inside. And I turn around. I'll turn around and walk back inside and close the door and locked it. I'm like, which is, if it's something, this makes me feel better. I guess if it's truly paranormal, it's really, door locks ain't going to do a whole lot of damn good. But, but it was just like, because, I walked over here at night all the time. I go out from this building here to go outside to go, every day, every night, but it was just weird. It was just something like, it was at the end of my camper there, was standing there, and like I said, I walked out of it, and I was like, man, what the hell? And just that energy, and I turned and looked, and then I seen what truly triggered my whole, like, just hair standing on end was, like I said, I heard the stick break, and I seen the stick break. I seen it pop, and I seen the pressure, like it going down and the stick coming up on each side, whatever, and it was like, but there wasn't nothing there. There wasn't no dog. It was no animal. I had a clear sight, pretty good sized moon. I think the light might have been on back there. Yeah, my light was actually on. So something triggered my motion light back there too, on top of that. Because I got motion lights everywhere, like solar power motion lights, and it was my solar power motion lights were on, like something was back there. And then I seen that, I was like, I'm going back inside. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
I've never had with the cats. Maybe the cats will protect me.
Yeah, probably. You're probably good there that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that reminds me of a couple of experiences I've had where I've been asleep here at home, and I've had dreams of being at the window next to my front door, just looking outside, and feeling like there was others out there in the middle of. I live in an apartment complex, and they have everything set up in these courts, which is apartment buildings on four sides with a drive, like a road going in and around the court. That's the parking lot, basically. And I've had a couple of dreams over the years of being by the front door and looking outside and not seeing anything, or just seeing like shadows, and just being aware that like I did not want to go out there, and I did not want to leave the door in case anything tried to get in, and it felt like more than just a regular dream. I had one time where I heard a knock at my door in my dream. Again, I feel like it was more than just a regular dream, and it was at night. It was dark outside. And I went and I opened the front door because I didn't sense anything yet. But as soon as I opened the door, I got this feeling of like something was there, and was happy that I'd opened the door. And I just pushed it, shut again real fast, and
Thanks,
and stood there and just and then eventually I woke up. And so, just because those felt like more than just regular dreams, I really do wonder: was I in my sleep picking up on stuff out there that was out there that I wouldn't have sensed if I had been awake, and was just sort of dealing with that. It was like my mind telling me, hey, there's stuff out there, don't go outside right now. I don't know, but that just reminded me of that so much. And it's funny how things bring up other things, because like these are not, I don't know if I've ever talked about those experiences on a show before anywhere. So it's funny how things trigger other things.
Carl in the chat said maybe it might have been scared of me when they were backing up when I came out or something. Maybe I startled it. I don't know.
And that could be because, we do have to. I think we have to go with, like I always say, there's two things here. I think we should pay attention to how we feel. If we feel if it's a negative or positive or neutral presence, be aware of that. but also be aware that we could always be wrong. And that could, be where we feel like it's a positive presence and we're wrong about that, unfortunately. That could be that it's a negative presence, but it could just be it's so strong that we're thinking it's negative and maybe it's not. That's why all this is so complicated, to me
Yeah.
anyway. So,
It just, I don't know if I
it could have
felt
been.
negative or
Right.
it was just, I just felt that strong presence. Like there's something here. Like, and like I said, I don't know. Merlin said it could have been a shadow person. And he said, don't let me, like, yeah, that's why I locked the door, Merlin. I didn't want nothing to come in here hanging out with me. I got enough stuff in here as it is. I don't need no extra. It's enough. We're on the limit until I go to another antique mall. What was that? I
Yeah.
seen a video. It's funny. It was talking about it. It was like, what was it? The girl was like, yeah. He's like, I don't see you at the club. I don't see you here. He's like, well, I don't see you at the thrift stores and and handling old dead people's stuff and having premonitions and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of paraphrasing. But yeah, it was. I was like, damn. Yeah, this is kind of what happens though sometimes when you walk around the thrift store or the antique store, and all of a sudden something kind of starts speaking to you. Like, I don't need you. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. You're not coming home with me. I got enough issues.
Well, here's another one. I'm not sure if I told this one before or not here, but my dad is an interior exterior painter. He's been doing that for like 30 years now. And this one job he went to, the owners were getting rid of some old books, and he saw this old cookbook, and he thought it was neat, so he brought it home. As soon as that thing got in the house, they started having more paranormal activity than usual. Sometimes they'll get random footsteps here or there once in a while, but this started like once he got this book in this house or in his house. He and my stepmom both started having more experiences of footsteps and sounds and stuff. And my stepmom didn't know about this at first, this book. So she kind of one day was like, "What's going on here?" And going around the house trying to figure out, why there was more activity. And she saw this book and she just could sense like, oh, it's attached to this, and got rid of it, and all the activity calmed down after that.
Wow.
And so I don't know for sure if this is the thing, but I'm guessing she probably told my dad, don't bring anything home anymore without like consulting us first. One of us in the family first that is like sensitive to these things, because remember what happened last time with that cookbook, that
You
kind of
never
thing.
know. It's something simple. It's funny. Merlin said I should put one of the masks by the door. I got a couple crosses by the door. I got a Celtic cross and an actual Native American style cross and a dream catcher by the door. So maybe help catch stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's like, I have a rule. No one is ever, I don't care who you are in my life, you will never bring one of those dolls that look like real people, like from the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Hmm.
You won't even bring it in my house. Every one of them damn things is possessed, and you will not, under any circumstance, bring one of those into my house. No discussion.
I
And I
don't
won't
blame
have
you.
one of those damn monkeys with the uh, things,
Yeah, the little
like the
symbols.
Yeah.
marching band.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way, nothing like that's coming in my house ever, because they're all possessed, or they're all, in my opinion, portals that's going to let something come in. No way.
Could be. It's like all them on the show with I can't think of his name. Had all them dolls in the background on that Monday, James. Have you got a
Oh,
hold of Have you got a hold of him yet? Have y'all got it connected?
no, not yet. I need to reach out again. I filled out the form on the website, but I'll have to reach out again soon.
Yeah. Yeah, he had all them haunted dolls and stuff. It was I'm like, there's no way. I was talking to
Mm-mm.
the guy at the gym and I was telling him about it and he was like, nope. Uh-uh.
Nope.
Merlin said, "No Chucky." Yeah, no Chucky dolls for me,
Yeah.
and no them. Man, they're creepy looking. Even if they're, I don't know, even if they weren't haunted, they still creepy looking. Especially them older dolls. You see them at antique malls and looking over at them. I'm like,
Yep.
you shake your head. Nope, I don't even want to get near you, buddy.
Yeah. Teresa used to tease me. I guess apparently I saw Chucky when I was young. I don't remember seeing the movie, but she apparently did because she always used to be like, "Well, Chucky's gonna come." Yeah, she'd be like, teasing me like, "Yeah, we're gonna get Chucky and he's gonna kill you." And I'm like, "No, no dolls, nope, no way."
Eh-eh.
Even as adults, so I'm like, when we were in our 30s, she would do that to me.
Oh, hey.
Who's the? Didn't you have somebody on not too long ago called like the Temple of the Owl?
No, Matt Sal he's been in the chat, but Matt Sal hadn't been here on the show yet.
What's the other one that you go to after this?
Oh, on Trouble Minds.
Trouble Minds. It was on Trouble Minds. I've gone and tried to find that webpage, and I cannot find that webpage.
For the Trouble Minds?
Find other things about temples of owls, but not them.
Huh.
I know
I'll
there's
try
been
to.
some. Sorry, Ricky.
Oh, go ahead, James. Go
I
ahead.
know for a little while the creator Michael Strange has been working on the website, so
Hmm.
maybe the link was broken, possibly.
No, I
Um,
put this in as a straight up URL.
I know, but I'm saying is it's I don't know.
He, he
There's
been
Oh,
he been taking it
technical
down and
issues.
stuff. I'll see if I can find a link to Matt's channel and I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you by text.
yeah, because what he was talking about, I found very interesting.
Yeah, Matt's all got some good content. It's pretty cool. I'll be listening on Spotify sometimes, and I'll be listening to one thing, and turn around, and switch to Matt's out. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'll leave it on and keep on, keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on that Sunday show. No, Wednesday show. What day is today?
Sunday.
So, Stranger Minds last show, I dialed in. I
Oh,
forgot it was Wednesday. Sorry. Um, but I kept having connectivity issues here for some reason. And I heard somebody talking about data centers and, these conspiracy theories around these data centers and stuff. And I tried calling in because I'd worked in data centers from 1984 up until about 4 years ago. And I've been through every iteration and evolution of that industry since then. And I got in, but nobody ever answered. I mean, normally they'll tell you, wait for the call, the host and whatever.
Hmm.
And I waited and waited and waited, and I never got through. So
He's
I'm going
been
to dial in tonight and see if I could talk to, um,
Mike Strange.
yeah, Mike Strange about it. Because I don't know who was talking. This guy had a very, do you remember this guy? He had like a very slow kind of way of talking. He almost sounded like he was stoned when he was talking. And he had a very, was his voice real scratchy, kind of deep? I found the whole thing of him when he called in. It was because then they went to a commercial break and they came back, and this guy was still there talking. Um,
Yeah, so I
but
know
yeah, I think
I know he's had trouble with the phone line. He had trouble with the phone lines the other day.
he did.
Yeah, so I think that's part of the problem. Um,
Yep.
I bet I'm trying to think who I get on the tip of my head who it could be,
Yeah, I don't remember who he was.
but they're gonna looks like they're gonna have which for our Rumble chat we will be in about 20 minutes heading over to
Hmm.
Trouble Minds. Uh, the hour that never existed, a sunlight ritual inversion is the title of tonight's show on Trouble Minds. So that should
okay.
be a interesting one.
James, you know anything about that?
Actually, I do not. I never really get to because I'm always sort of I shut down. I don't look at any of like the well, if I could talk. The show is usually announced. The topic is usually announced during this show.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have a Discord open usually to find out. Um, So yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
He looks like it's about the daylight savings time, which we just had today.
Oh yeah,
So he's gonna
that
talk about it.
wonderful thing.
I didn't even realize it was until somebody said something about it, and I was like, "Oh hell, oh yeah."
Yeah, I didn't know either until my screensaver on my TV came on. It said like 104, and I looked up. No, it said 204, and I looked at all my clocks, and they were at 104. And I had to ask Sari what time it was, and yeah, we had sprung forward apparently last night, and I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't pay no attention. Which only clock I don't have that's not set, for automatic is my one in my car. So, and the one at the gym, I guess I had to fix it. I got a, I got a picture of it. I got me a new clock. I bought it at the Goodwill outlet for like $2. It's a 30-inch clock. It didn't have no hands on it though, so I put new hands and a new motor in it, and been using it at the gym now. And it's pretty neat. It's a expensive clock, new, but like I said, it's a huge clock. But I'm gonna have to set that damn thing, I guess. Oh well. I wish
Hmm.
they stayed one time. This back and forth stuff just
Yeah.
it was like I heard I don't know if it was real or not, but I heard a guy he's asking an old Indian one time. He was like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Help my daylight savings time. We can, And he was like, if you take a foot off a end of a blanket and put it on the other side, you still have the same size blanket." I'm
Yeah.
like, he's right. It don't really, it does not affect the 24 hours in a day. We're still the
No,
same.
I guess it was started. I don't know if this is accurate. That they did this so during the summer when there used to be all family farms, all the kids would be able to work in the fields later because it got dark later. So they would work from like sun up to sundown during the harvests and stuff. So they extended and made artificial daylight, I guess, to stay later so they could work in the fields later.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I knew it's about the farms and stuff like that. But I mean, still, it's still the same amount of time. It's still making the same amount of hours.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Instead of be 5 o'clock, you'd be working till 6. Well, now it's going to be, if it's,
Right.
I don't know. It
Well,
don't make sense to me, but
I
other
wonder why
things do
the
make sense.
animals don't get messed up by the sun, the days being longer, whatever, artificially, basically, because we manipulated time, I guess, in a certain sense.
I know one thing it don't mess with the cats and the animals because they're like, hey, it's time feeding time. But mine don't.
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah.
like my parents and my brother they kind of feed them at a certain time. They got set times they feed their animals. I just put food in my bowl and they come over there and slap me when it's time to put some more in there. And but so like if it's normally 5 o'clock and all of a sudden it's fall back, they don't realize it. Their tummy tells them it's still time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's they don't care about the clocks. That's not their
Mm-mm.
concern. So
No, not at all. When their belly says it's time to eat, it's time to eat. But like I said, I just leave Kitty and Shadow do pretty good. I don't. I mean, they are healthy kitties, but they leave some food in the bowl. They don't devour everything.
right.
They don't like seeing the bottom of it though. I got these little copper looking bowls, and it's kind of shiny. I guess they don't like to see the bottom of it. They want something there.
Mm.
Like even in the morning, they have half a bowl of food there, but they can see half the bottom of the bowl. I'm like, "Meh, meh." All right,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
food, human.
yeah. So I'll pour it full, and they'll run up there and start eating, and they're happy. And I'm like, all right, whatever, cats.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, they've got us trained.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
human, the alien invasion has already happened.
oh, for sure, for
So
sure.
never mind all that stuff you've been hearing about lately, and on UFOs and all that. That's all cover. The alien invasion already happened.
And this stuff's getting wilder and wilder. It really is. Some of the stories, and I think what did I save? Let's see. Speaking of UFOs, I got a bunch of stuff ready for Wednesday. There's some wild stuff, but what did I save, Lewis?
It's really weird because I had those sightings of those blue lights across like a few weeks' time, a few years ago, and ever since then, nothing.
Hmm.
Like in the sky, nothing in the sky. So like to me, that says whatever I saw, it was something. It wasn't like a new satellite going up. It wasn't a Starlink. It wasn't a space station. It wasn't a drone. It wasn't anything on a regular schedule because it stopped. You know, not even counting the telepathic contact, but it stopped and didn't happen again. So I did have a
Did,
couple of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Did you see any of these videos over Tel Aviv and Haifa, um, where Israel is really good about sounding the alarm when missiles and whatever are inbound, right? So people can get into the shelters. I guess the other night, all hell broke loose, and the IDF was just shooting. You could see the tracers coming up out of these neighborhoods, and there was this ball of light, and you could see the tracer hit it and bounce off. So this thing was taking massive amounts of AAA, and it was all just bouncing off of it, but the alarms never went off for the air raid. So people are really freaking out. It's like, what is that? That it got over Tel Aviv. It didn't set off any of the air defense radars or any of the air defense systems. And now they're relying strictly on, you know, eye to eye contact, line of sight contact with these flak guns, basically. And people are like crying and freaking out while they're recording this.
Mm.
And you can watch it. I mean, it's either there's so many people we're doing the same thing with AI, or there's some legitimacy to this because there's multiple videos of this out there. And I watched those because people don't understand. I was explaining this to people I used to work for me that they thought the gun was shooting slow because they'd see the tracers, and I'm like, there's like 5 rounds in between each one of those tracers usually. So if you see a tracer, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever they set that belt up or that feed up to be. The tracer is just to help point those other 5 rounds to be more accurate. That's what they're primarily for. So if you see a tracer hit something and ricochet off, and I'm sure they were at least 20 millimeter, 30 millimeters, and to just bounce off like that, I was even freaking out. Like it sustained multiple impacts.
Hmm. It could be part of. I said I don't know. That I think they're gonna. I don't know. That'd probably be part of the fake. Uh, use the fake invasion or something like that. I don't know. Have y'all seen the Space Force Delta 18 logo?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's got a globe, and then it's got the Sphinx looking up at a star above its head.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
But yeah,
So, and
the
that's the
whole
National Space Intelligence Center. Uh,
yeah.
it's just weird, you know.
Yeah, the whole thing with see, I'm so torn because the whole thing with there have been UFOs seen around conflicts and around military bases, for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of torn as far as though is that anything really anomalous or is that one company or military or government or another making stuff that then looks weird. Um, to get certain results in whatever is going on. I'm always kind of leery of, especially now, what's going on in recent years because there's technology is so far advanced with drones and things like that. Yes, I mean we don't, there's a lot that we are told that can't be done, but that's we're getting told that by people that are in charge of everything that may have access to stuff 20, 30, 50 years ahead. So I'm always, I don't know, it's really odd to be the one that does believe in anomalous things, but also is just sitting here like, I don't know. I kind of doubt it's anything anomalous when so many people are having these experiences because so often that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is. I don't know. I'm. I don't know. There's so much going on with it, and there's so much else going on at the same time. It just, I don't know. It's got my ears up, trying to cipher it all out. Like I said, I think there's going to be something before August. We're going to have something pop up, some kind of alien situation, one way or another.
Well, wouldn't it be ironic if we're sitting here thinking it's going to be the fake thing, so we start telling everyone, no, it's don't worry, it's all the fake stuff, and then it really is the actual aliens.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
could be. I mean, anything is possible. We like Mike Strange says, we're just asking questions here. We're no arbiters of truth.
Yeah, there's recorded history in Egypt, and I guess I forget what this area is called, but it's where all those really tall obelisks and columns are. I don't know if it's in the Valley of the Kings or not, but it's like a lot of temples and open air structures or whatever, right? And a few years ago, they didn't realize this, but a panel fell off one of those walls. And there was other stuff that had been covered up by the panels that you can see today. And when they went up and looked at these panels, there's literally what looks like a Black Hawk helicopter on the panel that had just become exposed. And it's 4,000 years old or 5,000 years old. And this thing looks, the silhouette and everything of a Black Hawk helicopter.
Mm-hmm. And I got I've seen at some of the hieroglyphs and stuff. They got, it looks like the Ark of the Covenant in them too.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of interesting. Of course, there's speculation on both sides. Like, hey, did they, it's two different ones on top of each other. But why would they do that? I don't understand. They've always, they're so precise about everything they did. Why would they draw on top of another? And they didn't do it everywhere else. Nothing else is covered up with multiple hieroglyphs. Why just these few spots? But
Well, because somebody looked at it, and it could have been the people, let's say alien, people from another planet were here. They're the ones who actually built it. They're the ones who did the original I can't say the word right now. Um, and
Hieroglyphs?
then
Yeah.
thank you. And they're going to go back to their home planet, or they're going to leave, or whatever the case may be. But they say, well, you know what? We can't leave this because man's not ready to see this. So we put up this other stuff that man can relate to, right? And it's all cipher, gives them something to try to figure out, like we're always trying to do, right? We're always trying to read all these tablets and all these other things. And, I guess they're potentially clues that once you figured it out, that lead you to the more advanced stuff that was here 4,000 years ago, let's say. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they covered it up. I guess they didn't plan on some of it falling down. And nobody can explain it. Nobody even knows where they came from. That's the other thing. There's all this stuff, and it's a world famous UNESCO site or whatever. This is a documented site for centuries now, and nobody knows where this stuff underneath there came from.
Yeah, just real quick, I know we're almost out of time here,
Yeah.
but if you want to read some odd things about things found around the world, solid stone filled with these um, uh, like scooped out marks, like cup shaped depressions
Hmm.
in stones. I definitely recommend checking out the Book of the Damned by Charles Fort. He was talking about UFOs and aliens, not using those phrases, those
Hmm.
words, 100 years ago or so. So I've been going over his books and reading them on my shows and everything, and it's been a lot of fun. And just yeah, definitely recommend that to anyone to check out. Just look up Charles Fort and the Book of the Damned, and it's definitely worth it to read.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, we're about to that time. It's 8:58.
Hmm.
Trouble Minds will be coming on in just a second. Uh, James, any shout outs you want to do?
Well, just glad to be here. Thanks again to everyone that came here to listen in. Ricky, thank you, and thanks to your mom as well for being here, and nice to talk with you again, Uncle Dave. And yeah, just if you're wondering where else I talk about all this stuff, that'd be my own podcast, Salsido Paranormal, and that's Salsido Paranormal. You can go to the website for that. That's Salsido Paranormal.com and find all the episodes there. And yeah, I cover anomalous experiences from the web and other. I'm going through a reading of all of the nonfiction books of Charles Fort right now as well. So yeah, thank you again for Ricky for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Uncle Dave, you got any shout outs or anything?
Now I'm going to teleport over to the other website now.
Nice, nice. Yeah, for everybody, go check out Trouble Minds for listening. The Rumble chat, y'all just hang tight, and I'll be teleporting you over there on the Rumble chat. So as always, much love, and I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all giving my mom love and respect, and we'll bring her back soon, and she'll tell some more stories. And Theo, I'll get her to tell a couple stories from me when I was little and running around raising hell. When I was little, raising hell, and instead just when I'm big is raising hell. So, appreciate y'all. Still, we got some more guests coming back. We got guests returning soon. I'll have to keep it secrets and stuff, but appreciate y'all. Let me hit this outro song, and then we'll be doing some teleporting. Much love, everybody.
Shackles, don't want no shackles on me. Don't want no shackles, don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother, don't like those RFIDs. Got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I sat down with Big Brother and the national ID. Don't want a chip in my wallet, chip in my car. And if I want to travel, it's nobody's business how far. Don't want no shackles, don't want no shackles on me. I said shame on Big Brother, always tracking and tracing me. Don't want a chip in my mother, chip in my wife, a chip in my babies. Stay out of our life. Don't want no shackles, don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother, no more slavery. Play it for me, baby. Now, do you want a chip in your forehead, a chip in your arm, always tweaking your brain and causing you harm? Don't want no shackles, don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother in the good old USA. I sat down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother. Don't want a spy chip in me. Everybody, I sat down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother. It's all about liberty.